What's good, my fellow peasants? Praise be to Yevon, all that good shit. Now, I've just been doing a giveaway video. I'm in the middle of doing it, and I thought I'd take a break. And I saw this pop up on my newsfeed. Final Fantasy's brightest stars, and then it says the best. Well, I kind of cut that bit out. Character in each game. Ooh. Oh, what a controversial subject. I applaud Ron Dowell. I applaud your bravery. Whenever you say your favourite character in each game, there's always going to be some salty ass backlash. But it's a question I always get asked, so let's go through it. I'm going to do this video. I'm going to take a break and go through it, see what... And by the way, with the giveaway, if there's any prizes you want to win, guys, I'm going to try to do that for Monday. If there's any prizes you want, let me know, and I'll see if I can get them added into the giveaway, so that you can most likely not win and watch someone else pick the prize that you wanted. But let's do it, let's go. So we're counting down the days to Final Fantasy 15. Oh god, we are. 23 days. I am so excited. I'm so excited for this game. I really hope it lives up to expectation. I really do. So yeah, this is just a chat. This is just a little chatty watty. I'm also going to try to do another stream in 45 minutes of World of Final Fantasy. Loving the game, for anyone who's wondering. People keep asking, Pez, do you suggest I get this? All I'll say is to that very quickly is just watch Tama. Just watch Tama in a few trailers. If you go, no, don't like Tama, he's annoying, they don't bother with the game. It's like, I don't understand. Everyone knew what Tama would be like going into this game, yet I think one of the biggest complaints I see is Tama is fucking annoying. Well, I love Tama. Tama is the life. Tama is the life. And yeah, just if you can tolerate the chibi, if you can tolerate the narrative, the really, you get what I'm fucking saying. But let's get back into this. So, who's your favourite Final Fantasy playable character in each game? So, let's go through it. Starting with Final Fantasy IV, Rondell's Gone Rydia. Now, I don't know how I feel about that, but I know who I would pick. But we're already starting off with an underdog victory. I don't think you'll find any Final Fantasy fan willing to talk bad on Kain Highwind. Exactly the character I was going to pick. I mean, Kain Highwind clearly is the best character for Final Fantasy IV. But he just is. I would like to say Edge. Like, if I was to do this list and you was to say personal preference, I would pick Edge. But Kain is just the best character. He's got the best character development. He's got the best arcs. So yeah, I'm guessing this is a personal list, which I can respect. We all have a different opinion. But let's see what Rondell says. Fuck off, yo.com. Final Fantasy games have long been influenced by Star Wars. I don't really know about that. I don't think you could take typical character arcs like the anti-villain and just credit. This is the thing, but Star Wars gets a fucking credit for everything, like it was the thing that first did the anti-villain, and anything that uses an everything is fucking Darth Vader. Everything is Darth fucking Vader. I mean, I'm guessing this is what, I mean, who are they referencing? Kain takes more inspiration from George Lucas than any other character in the series. Really? I mean, perhaps I'm missing something, but what character? Kain's nothing like Darth Vader, who I'm guessing they're referencing, but fuck it. My favourite has always been Rydia, the summoner girl Kain and protagonist Cecil find in the mountains after leaving the story briefly and reappearing as an adult. And a sexy one at that. She becomes the team's main black magic user and can call all the classic summoners. I've always liked the idea of her growing up behind the scenes. Okay, yeah, I mean, I can respect Rydia. Plus she has green hair, which is awesome. I could definitely respect this pick now. Green hair is awesome. Pink, I think, we talked about this on my stream the other day, guys. I think people like purple a lot, based on what I said on my stream. I said I like the pink, but a lot of people like the purple. I mean, we haven't had much purple, really, so that's kind of surprising. We've had... That's the thing with Final Fantasy 15. Why isn't there any really crazy hair colours? They're all just kind of brown, or black, or blonde. About the only person who is the most flamboyant is Arden, and that's purple. So no wonder Arden's probably become everyone's favourite. So Final Fantasy 5 Bart's. Again, I wouldn't agree with that pick. I would go with... Who would I go with? Yeah, I'd probably go Faris at this. No, I'd go Galoof. I would go Galoof. It started as Faris for so long in that game. and then it flipped over to Galoof. Galoof was a hero, guys. I mean, he was Zack level fair of hero. I kind of teared up a bit. I think I might have to do a Feels Fire Down 5. In fact, I have to. And I might get the girlfriend back for it. Who knows? I've always liked Bart's because he's just so boring. Why would you make that your first line? He's a bland sap, forced into a leading role of a grand adventure. He's Tiz from Bravely Default. He's Maxim from Lufia 2. He's the prototypical JRPG hero. He lacks the personality of better written protagonists. And all you've done is very, very, very harsh. He's just blah. And in a way, it's endearing. The best character of Final Fantasy V is clearly the sub-villain Gilgamesh, but we're only talking playable characters today. I can mention Gilgamesh, though, because his fate closing act of Final Fantasy V. Yeah, I mean, has this guy played 5? Because he kind of sounds like he hasn't. He's just like, there's character called Butts in 5, and he's boring, so I'm just going to pick him and then not write any fucking coherent reason as to why I like him. If you think he's a boring, bland sap, which, by the way, I don't think Bart's is boring. I thought Bart's was hilarious. And Bart's in Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy, guys, is probably shaping up to be my favourite character at the moment. Of them all. Either that or Tidus. Tidus is becoming a right old hero in World of Final Fantasy. But there we go. Final Fantasy 6 Sabin. I don't know. Sabin's okay. Sabin's a good character, but his brother Edgar's much better. Are you guys all agreeing with me? This is just, I don't know if this video is going to be interesting at all, but I just wanted a break. So I wouldn't pick Sabin. I'd pick definitely his brother Edgar over him. And even then, I would go Terra. Certainly wouldn't go Locke. I would pick Terra. But let's see what his reasons are. So Final Fantasy, largest cast, has the most winners to choose from. We've got a Final Fantasy 6 fan in the house. I think you're either really, everyone shapes up to either being a 6 or 7 fan. Not everyone's favourite 6 or 7. I'm saying every Final Fantasy fan that I've ever met, they either fall into the 6 fan camp or the 7 fan camp. Everyone has a strong opinion on which is better, 6 or 7. It's just, I've never met a Final Fantasy fan who hasn't. So the strength of the game resides in its players, and singling one out is tough. I'm going to go with my childhood favourite, Sabin. Is it because he suplexed the train? The Team Beefcake, who has a softer side. That's the rough and tough heroes of today's video games, are too machismo to show off. He's the immature young brother of King Edgar, and he abandons his country for freedom, yada yada yada. Something I think we're going to see a lot of in Noctis. I agree. I think I've been saying this a long time. Noctis isn't going to start off as a great hero. He's going to whine. He's going to be upset. He's going to be irrational. He's going to be angry. He is the youngest in the group, and he will act it. I think he'll act even younger than Prompto in most circumstances. And I fear that people aren't going to like Noctis because of that. Like, I find that unless most people start off like God of War fucking level of just straight into the badassery, there are a percentage, and I'd probably say 30% of people who a character has 3 hours. 3 hours to become an absolute fucking badass. If not, they're a whiny little bitch and I don't like them. It doesn't matter what they do for the rest of the game, I hate them. That is so true, guys. Who agrees with me and finds that so infuriating that people developers can't do big character development arcs because every character needs to prove themselves within the first 5 hours because gamers have such small attention spans. Oh, this frustrates me, and I've just seen, I don't know why, I would actually pick Celeste. I would pick Celeste. I don't know why I said Terra. I mean Celeste. I would pick Celeste as the best character. By far. How I forgot that, I don't know. He doesn't provide the best gameplay options since his blitz attacks target random characters. I kind of found Sabin really fun. He had all the combos, the key combos. Something that I think should come back. We haven't had key combos in Final Fantasy 4. I mean, was Sabin the last one? He might well have been. I kind of like key combos, so I think they should bring it back. However, he provides many of the early attacks that can target every enemy without using magic points, and he'll clear an entire battlefield with a well-placed fire dance. And while it's relevant, Bum Rush is a legit attack to use against bosses. Bum Rush is legit. I think I Bum Rush all of my bosses, so I agree with you. It's fine. Final Fantasy 7 Yuffie. Ooh. Okay, so this is at least an interesting list. I kind of find that some people trying to just do hipster lists for the point of it, but at least this is interesting. This is unique. So who would I pick from 7? I'd have to say oh god, it's too hard. I mean, I would personally like to pick Aerith as my favourite, but I'd probably have to give, I don't know, I'd probably give it away to maybe Barrett, to be honest. Barrett has a huge character development arc, and let's see what he says about Yuffie. So I don't think any game has seen so many characters taken the role of my favourite, more than 7. Like every 13-year-old boy playing Final Fantasy 7 for the first time. Wrong! Everyone plays it at 11. I've done polls on this, I've seen people say it repeatedly. Everyone starts 7 when they're 11. 11 years old, I mean, almost every person I spoke to, 11. It's kind of uncanny, and someone even asked me just 2 days ago, can you do a theory video, Peasant, on why everyone starts Final Fantasy 7 when they're 11. So someone else has even noticed it. I was also a fan of the dark brooding Vincent for a while, but upon further playthroughs as I grew older, Red 13 became my de facto favourite. Yeah, Red. I'm trying to decide between Red and Barrett, to be honest, in my mind. Although Aerith is my favourite, I think Red and Barrett go through the biggest development arcs, I think. And the whole thing with Seto was just brilliant. Nowadays, I prefer quirky and fun over dark and serious, obviously pointing to my favourite character of Final Fantasy 7, Yuffie. She takes... See, I think I've gone backwards on that. I think I used to prefer quirky and fun, but now I prefer dark and brooding and serious. And that's why I love Type 0, that's why I really like 12. That's also why I think I'm going to love 15. I really hope, because the thing is 15 has a bit of both. It has a lot of quirky and fun, but it also has a lot of serious. 15 I think is going to be a brilliant balance. I'm kind of curious how long the fun's going to last. Like, we've seen so much of the quirky fun, like the brothers having fun, Prompto being a clown, then wrestling, then making all these kind of upbeat, cheesy lines. And I kind of think that that's going to end real soon. Or, I don't know. I think it will, because as soon as Noctis finds out about Regis dying, I think everything's going to flip from there on. It's just going to get progressively darker from there on out, but who knows. Nowadays I prefer quirky and fun, plenty of the game's most exciting moments, provides access to a unique hometown, unlocks one of the best subquests and the Leviathan material, and always brings humour to the party. Sure, she messes up your material arrangement at one point, but come on, you can forgive her, right? It took me ages to get Yuffie. Since FF7's mechanics don't really matter when comparing character to character, Yuffie is just as fun to use as anybody else. It's a game where you pick personality over mechanics, and Yuffie wins every time. Okay, I respect the pick. I don't think I'd agree with it, although I do love Yuffie. In fact, I'm not even going to flip. I'm just going to pick my favourite. Aerith is the best. Aerith is. She was just adorable, sweet, probably the most intelligent of the lot. Got her shit together. Bold, forthcoming, outgoing, and just genuinely made the game a million times better experience. FF7 without Aerith in it just would be something completely different. Final Fantasy VIII, Laguna. I respect that pick greatly. Anyone who picks Laguna, I can respect that pick. I might even pick Laguna myself, to be honest with you. I don't know. It's tricky. I would personally like to pick Zell, but he clearly isn't the best character. But I would pick him just because I think Zell's an absolute lad. Laguna, yeah. Okay, Laguna is the best, I agree. Do I really have to pick? I didn't like any of Final Fantasy VIII's character. The last time I played it, nor do I really remember any of them to give an educated decision. Oh, we've got an FF8 hater in the house. Oh, Close your ears, FF8 fans. Picking Laguna feels like a bit of cheating since he's not really part of the main team. However, his flashback scenes are the highlight of FF8's convoluted storytelling. It's not convoluted. FF8 story, I don't know why it gets convoluted. I kind of think that when someone doesn't understand the story, they just call it convoluted. I didn't get it. It's convoluted. Convoluted! I mean, it's just not convoluted. It's very, very straightforward, in my opinion. I played it when I was like 14 and I understood it easy peasy. And it's the same with 13. I understood 13's story very, very easy. But not to say I didn't have to focus. I mean, I had to focus like a hawk on 13's story. I had to be constantly on it. And if you skipped any cutscene, or if you got lax with your focus, say you came home from work one day, you've had a frazzled day, and you're not really listening, you're not really paying attention, you'll be lost as fuck with 13. But that's not because the story isn't telling it. I mean, yes, there was a lot in data logs, and that was sometimes a bit of an issue. They would put some stuff in the data log that was really a bit too important. But I kind of think that if someone just doesn't understand the story, they'll just be like, okay, well, this is convoluted. It's the story's problem. It's not me or my understanding or my focus. It's this. That is the problem. Cracking on. Storytelling and the reprieve his humour brings from Squall's loathsome, intolerable teenage angst is always welcome. I mean, okay. How can you... Are you giving Cloud a free pass on here? Because Cloud is no less or no more angsty than Squall. He's a genuinely enjoyable character as well, with a great relationship with the two cohorts, Kyrus and Ward. I kind of always thought that they should have been called Biggs and Wedge. Maybe. I mean, I know the game had its Biggs and Wedge and they were the two guards, but I don't know. I think maybe if they'd have made Laguna's... Nah. Kyrus and Ward was spot on. They needed to be their unique characters. I take that back. Two more characters who shine over Final Fantasy VIII's dorks. Fucking hell, this guy is going to ham on 8. I'm playing 8 after 15, by the way. For anyone who's an 8 fan, go subscribe to my Full Fantasy Peasant if you want to check me going through 8 again and reliving that experience. I don't know, maybe I'll come out of it thinking everyone is a fucking dork, but when I played it last, I thought all the characters were brilliant. I thought Questis, I thought Selphie was hilarious, Irvine was absolutely spot on, and Squall was just Cloud with a tweak. Not to say Squall was a rip-off of Cloud, just that he was on the same angst level and kind of pretty much the same character development arc. Like, he progresses the same way that Cloud does pretty much, and at the same kind of pace. So you must hate Cloud. There's no way you can hate on Squall and not hate on Cloud for the angst reasons. They have the same angstometer and it fills up and then decreases at the exact same rate. If I had to pick one of the main crew, it'd be Quistis, Blue Mages, blah blah blah. Squall, boring beats out obnoxious any day. Alright, we're just going to move on from that. That was painful to read. Final Fantasy 9 Vivi. Okay, Vivi. Respectable pick. Personally, I would go with... I would just be boring and say Garnet. Garnet by far! She has such an arc. She goes through such an adventure. She has so much inner strength, that girl, that I know we've had Celeste before, I know we've had Rydia, I know we've had Terra, but I would really classify the first really strong female protagonist as Garnet. Like, she took the independent, strong female arc and exploded it. She even carries on her mission when she loses her voice, all the shit she goes through, her sense of duty, her sense of purpose. Yeah, Garnet for me. But let's see what they say about Vivi, who everyone loves. No one doesn't love Vivi. I'll follow that and if you do, you're a monster. I'll follow that half-hearted justification with a wholehearted endorsement. Vivi is a pure and perfect Final Fantasy character, all the way down to his design. Final Fantasy 9 makes brilliant use of the character, classic black mage trope, and Vivi spends the majority of the game coming to terms with the nature of his creation and the short term he has on this planet. Toss in the innocence of a young boy and the reckless hidden powers hidden beneath his soft personality. Square really knew what it was doing with this character, and it shows when it slapped him on all the advertisements back in the day when it first came out. He's a Final Fantasy Hall of Famer, and easily one of the top tier characters to ever emerge. So Vivi's a character who pretty much had the same identity crisis arc that many characters had, but rather than it being negative, he took it as a positive. So, you know, Sephiroth, he went absolutely batshit crazy about it with his identity crisis. So did Genesis. So did Seymour. Seymour, definitely. Who else had a huge character identity? I mean, Kefka kind of had an identity crisis. I mean, he kind of did. He had the old... he had the same shit that Celeste had. What was it? Where he was made into a super soldier kind of shit. But I kind of think that he didn't have much of an identity crisis. Kuja, huge identity crisis. Whereas Vivi just took his identity crisis and made it positive. I don't think we'd seen that before. So yeah, I agree. Vivi is a great character. Personally, I'd still pick Garnet, but I can respect the Vivi pick. Final Fantasy X Yuna. Yeah. Yeah, go on then. Final Fantasy X Yuna. What's your reasons for it though? We're shadowing. You're gonna say Yuna's shit. She's obnoxious. She's boring. She's bland. She's blah. But she was the best in this pile of shit story. Is that what you're gonna say? We're shadowing Final Fantasy IV here with the obvious favourite who embodies everything that is great in the series being put against the Summoner Girl. I guarantee he's gonna say 10-2 ruined Yuna. Bet you he does. Just to clear it up, Auron is another high point in the series, one of the greatest accomplishments Final Fantasy has ever achieved. However, I just love Yuna. As a boy, I had a heartbreaking crush on her. It's the blue eyes. It's the blue and the green eyes. It just gets you. Doesn't it? Who loves the blue and the green eyes? I kind of wish everyone had bi-coloured eyes because of Yuna. I just think it looks great. And I'd never seen it before. This is the weird thing. I was about 16 when I first played 10. I'd never seen two coloured eyes. When I saw it with you, and I thought, what the fuck? That's not even possible to have two different coloured eyes. I genuinely didn't think it was possible. And then someone was like, yeah, it is possible. And it's got a name. And I went away and looked on the internet. And, I mean, it just looks dope. I mean, should we even look it up? Two different colour eyes. So let's look. It's probably not going to fit in the screen that well. Alright. Okay, these are all ugly bitches. We're going to move on past that. So, Japanese stories. The idea of the empathetic strong woman hasn't been so much in her physical strength or dominating personality, but rather her perseverance. Very, very well worded. While taking the world's problems on her shoulders, Yuna captures this trait perfectly, leading a group of people to save the world and willing to lay down her own life for the good of everyone. Once upon a time, I remember Aeris being pointed as the innocent flag girl, and that for some reason made her the series' most female lead. Whilst there were no more comparisons to be had, Yuna stole the show and hasn't been upstaged yet. Plus, yeah, she's super cute. So you didn't even talk about Yuna in 10-2. I need to know what you think about Yuna in 10-2 before we go any further. But yeah, I like the wording of it. Did you really need to hate on Aeris though? At the end, I mean, it just seems like in every single point the guy has to make some sort of negative remark. I mean, it's like, just tell us your favourite character. Let us fanboy. Let us fangirl over the characters you've picked. Don't then feel the need to hate on someone else's character. Final Fantasy XII Balthier. Hell yeah! A to the men. Spot on. Probably the most spot on pick so far. Final Fantasy XII Balthier is not only the best character in 12, he's the best character in the entire franchise. Come at me. I'll bare knuckle fight you in the street over that one. Balthier is the best. He just is. Just so we're clear, Final Fantasy XII, down to its core, a direct retelling of Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this before. I've seen someone say that Fran is sexy Chewie. And Balthier is pretty much Han Solo. And of course, when you look at, say, what's the name of the Outland world? Where Anakin grows up. What's it called? Oh no. And you go into the bar and there's all the different creatures. I probably even got the country wrong. The world wrong. I'm trying to remember what it's called now, really bad. But when they go into the bar and there's all the different races of creatures, you can walk into some bars in Rabanasta and it does look almost exactly like that. But I think that's where... yeah, and there's a whole thing with the Empire Yeah, okay, I suppose it is a retelling of Star Wars. I mean, but it isn't. Again, it's just the whole thing with an evil empire. Okay, it's like Star Wars used it. It hasn't got the monopoly on it, and it certainly wasn't the first to use it. And okay, there's airships. I mean, and the airship kind of might look like the Millennium Falcon, but not really. And the series has had airships just as long as Star Wars, so I don't know. I don't know if I agree with it just being a direct retelling, but whatever. A princess escapes with an elderly general from the heart of a major civil war. The two accidentally stumble across two bumbling sidekicks and enlist the aid of a pirate. I mean, would you describe Balthier and Fran? I think I've read this wrong. Who are the bumbling sidekicks? Oh, are Varn and Penello the bumbling sidekicks? I guess they are. To escort to safety. Of course, the plan goes wayside and everyone involved finds themselves wrapped up in a battle with an all-powerful empire. If we're going with that logic, Balthier is essentially Han Solo himself. He's a sky pirate, AK smuggler, uses pistols as his default weapon, and hangs out exclusively with his furry co-pilot. I'll leave it to you who's more endearing, Fran or Chewbacca. Hint, Final Fantasy loses 10 out of 10 in this situation. There we go. That's why you're trying to reference everything to Star Wars. You're a fucking Star Wars fanboy. Well, fair enough, good for you. You can compare as much as you want. I don't really agree that Final Fantasy just nicking off of Star Wars. They're pretty common plot points, you know. But whatever it is, your latest movie fucking sucks and Disney's going to shit on the rest of your franchise. So how do you feel about that? Sorry guys, the latest Star Wars was just shit. It was fucking shit. It just was terrible. Trust me when I went there wanting the film to be good, and it was just fucking terrible. Yeah, and I think Disney have said they're going to do 6 movies in total now. They're going to bleed Star Wars. They're going to milk it for everything it's worth to try to make their money back. And trust me when I say they're going to fucking kill it. And this is the thing with an RPG, with a Final Fantasy. There's over 40 hours of story in each game. And in almost every Final Fantasy, I can perhaps pick out a plot hole or 2 at most. Maybe I'll be able to pick out 5 or 6, but they'll be minor. But all in all, the story will be engaging, coherent, and it will actually make sense and be consistent throughout for 40 hours. Star Wars, with its multi-million pound budget, can't even produce 2 fucking hours of coherent story that isn't riddled with plot devices. Absolutely riddled. I mean, I can name 7 off the bat right now from the new Star Wars movie. Fucking terrible. I mean, there's just no excuse for that. You only have to make 2 hours of coherent story. Final Fantasy has to do over at least 40 every game, and it manages to do it. Go figure. But moving on, I don't know how this turned into a Final Fantasy Star Wars battle. Balthier's personality mirrors that of James Bond, more so than Han Solo though, and his suave confidence and heartless logic when it comes to crime lead him to commit many questionable but successful decisions in the game. Ends definitely justify the means for Balthier, and that makes him a great character. Yeah, he is a great character, but as for the rest of the thing, I don't really agree. Final Fantasy 13. Oh, here we fucking go, guys. Buckle up, strap on, get ready to get fucked by this guy's strap-on dildo. He's going to go hard on us. I just know. How do I know? Because he's put this smiley face and 2 dots already. So here we go. He's going to say there isn't a character greater than this stick man in 13. Okay, let's just go. I'm about to be fucking triggered. Once again, I'm pressed with making a decision I don't want to make, but unlike Final Fantasy VIII, I can't cheat my way out of this one. Final Fantasy XIII's cast of rogues are the least endearing of the entire franchise, even less so than 8's disgruntled teens. So I'm not going to bother. I've looked over the choices and I can't justify any of them. Saz has the empathetic dad thing going for him, and Fang has streaks of coolness on her. On the flip side, I can't think of a less tolerable dork than Snow, and Lightning has never done anything for me as a Final Fantasy leader. Okay, I'm not even going to bother. I mean, I am going to bother. I fucking am. How can Snow a dork? Okay, you can call him many things, but a dork. Do you know what a fucking dork means? A dork is kind of like a boffin, a goof, you know, some sort of fucking intellectual nerd. How can you call... I mean, that is like the... that is the least accurate description of Snow. Dork. And the thing is... I really just want to ask this person questions. I mean, does this person even like Final Fantasy? By the sounds of it, you fucking don't. Every single point you've come with negatives. Even the characters you do say you like, you pick them and you say, oh yeah, they're boring and bland and blah. That's why I like them. I mean, I think out of this list, you only liked really 4, 10. You didn't seem too keen on 7. 4, 6 and 10 maybe. Fuck it, whatever. I'm not even going to bother that. So Final Fantasy 15 is coming, so sorry to end on a low note like this, but your entire article was a low note. There wasn't a low note at the end. The whole thing was just low negative. Who will be my favourite to merge? By the way, I was just saying my favourite Final Fantasy 13 character. Sorry, I forgot. Noel Chryse, if I can pick him from the entire trilogy. Of course, I'd like to pick Caius, but he's not part of the main team. But if I have to pick from just 13, I would go Sarah, and if I had to pick a playable character from 13, then I would probably pick... Oh no, this is an interesting one. This isn't something I've ever actually considered. Who's my favourite just from the 13 team? I don't know, I'd say Vanille. I'd say Vanille. I would say Vanille. And the thing is, I've repeated this a million times, is people... I said this earlier in the video today. What the characters are like in the first 5 hours, that's what people stick with. And the thing is, that's why 13 was an instant recipe for this hate. I mean, they literally said, when we made this game, we wanted to create a cast that was unlikable to begin with. We wanted to create our first Final Fantasy cast that did not get on well, were completely dysfunctional, were completely erratic, and just a complete mess of a group. And that's what they were. Lightning was an absolute bitch at the start. Snow was a huge egotistical prick. Vanille seemed like the stupid ditz. Hope was the absolute snivelling coward of a boy. They were just that absolute ragtag mess of a team, and that's what they went for. And I was like, yes, this is fucking brilliant. I loved how dysfunctional they were. I loved when Lightning smacked Snow in the face. At that point, I was like, yes, give him a good old punch. And when Vanille was telling Hope to get his shit together. But then it flipped. It completely flipped. And this is the thing. How can people still hate on, say, Vanille? Don't like Vanille because she's stupid. She's a ditz. No, she isn't. You clearly haven't played the game. Or you have played the entire game, but you're letting the first 10 hours or 5 hours affect what your overall decision is. You're not willing to take on board the character development arcs. You're just not. If you say the entire 13 team are still what their base archetype was, you're somebody who can't appreciate character development arcs. You simply can't. You can say, oh, even with Vanille's character development arc, I don't like her for these and these reasons. But if one of those reasons is Vanille stupid, then you can't appreciate character development arcs. She's actually the most intelligent. This is why I like her. She's the most intelligent. She's pretty much the narrator for things. She orchestrates pretty much all the events. And yeah, she was just a great dynamic to see someone go from being that classic ditzy character to actually the one calling most of the shots. And that led all the way up until Lightning Returns. Vanille was pretty much the one, pretty much with the most and calling the most shots. But that's my take on it, guys. I need to round this out pretty soon because I've got a live stream to do. I don't know if this video will be hated, liked, I don't know, whatever. This is my opinion. But let's see what... I can't remember your fucking name. I don't really care anymore. Final Fantasy 15 is coming soon. Sorry to end on a low note. Blah, blah. Hint. Who will be the favourite to emerge from our upcoming bros? Hint. It's not Prompto. Ignis seems like an early front runner. But I also have a feeling that Gladiolus is going to shock fans. He's clearly more than just a muscle group. A regular Sabin if I want to give him a compliment. And maybe even Noctis will turn out alright. If you notice, none of the characters I picked are leading protagonists, well, except Bart's, but that pipsqueak doesn't count. Man, what the fuck? I like Tidus, Cecil, Terra, Zidane and Cloud, but I've always seen the supporting cast outshine the central figures. I'd like for once for the leading character to not let his cohorts steal the limelight. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's a bit too early to say things like, hint, it's not Prompto. I'm really curious where they go with Prompto. They have said that they're not going to keep him just in the comedy relief role, and I think Prompto could come through. You guys all know I'm front running Ignis at the moment, but I think Prompto could be a real sneaker. So it's too early to say. I'm not even going to speculate on who I think will be the best at the moment. Really speculate it in any great detail. I'm not going to do a video on it, on who the best cats for 15 is going to be. It's too early. And the thing is, I'm going to go completely open-minded. From even just the wording there, it seems like you're not ready to go into 15 open-minded. And this is the thing, I always go into every Final Fantasy completely open-minded. And that's what is needed. And even as you're playing along, even if a character does something, I mean, even if a character came in and it had the highest pitch, nasally voice, and it was just the most insufferable, grating character in the world, rather than do what most people do, which, don't like this character, put it down for 4 hours, after 4 hours, which is what people say, didn't like Lightning, put it down after 4 hours, hated her, couldn't continue on anymore. What the fuck? They could bring on the most high-pitched nasally, I'm kind of nasally right now, so they could bring on me, and I would listen, and even if they was getting on my tits, I would give them the benefit of the doubt. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to hold out, see what this cat does, remain open-minded, until that fucking curtain closes. No prejudgments from me until it closes, until we hit that final chapter, that final scene, until we know everything that their character does and everything that they are about and what they go through and how they develop. I ain't saying shit, and I wish people had that much open-mindedness. I know a lot of you guys do. This motherfucker clearly doesn't. Your list has fucking triggered me. You don't like Final Fantasy. You kind of still hipster. You like 4, 6, and 10, I think. You fucking hate the rest. I'm done. I'm out. Time to go live stream. Until the next video, guys. Goodbye!